I just want to know if you're going to bring bears and beavers.
What?
Bonjour.
Bonjour.
Hey. Bonjour.
How is everybody?
Amber's back in the gang.
I am.
She's on location in Alaska still.
Alaskan adventures.
I am. I'll pop in there as soon as I've got my earbuds back in and I'm not in my hotel room, which is full of dirty clothes hanging over every corner of every chair and couch. Yeah.
See, that would be a treat. I think that would be a treat for the audience, for the fans. Yeah. Going into your room and looking at all the...
There's definitely a marketplace for that somewhere, I'm sure.
There is.
Yes. It's not here.
I think people would be shockingly disappointed because all of my under things are kind of like granny style. Like, I don't go for the sexy
Bridget
stuff.
Jones.
I go for the comfort stuff.
Bridget Jones.
Granny style.
Haven't you ever watched Bridget Jones's Diary where she talks about how, like, you know, oh, I could wear my sexy underwear, which will look great if I end up naked. Yeah. Or I can wear these really scary underwears, but they hold in my stomach, so it makes it more likely for me to have to take off my clothes. You've seen that before?
Yeah.
Well, I think a lot of men do that as well.
What do they save, like their gross underwear for the times they don't think they're going to get laid? What? How's that work?
Oh, we wear our corsets. We wear our corsets until the last minute.
That's just your nappy going up a bit too high, mate. That's
yeah.
what that is.
Those tenor pants.
I'll pull it right up. I'll pull it right up to here.
He's just got braces on it.
Could you imagine somebody coming into this and not knowing what we usually do on this channel?
Yeah, to anyone new.
Yeah, this has gone downhill already.
Yeah, there's a whole new audience. There's a whole new audience out there. They're a perverted alien. So, what should we kick it off with first? What is the major thing? Because last time it was Deadpool. What's happened since then?
Yeah, but that was good. And
that was good.
Yes.
This is going to be old school, this one.
This is.
I think it is. I think it's going to be old school.
This is going to be bust the blood vessel.
Yeah. Let's do Rings of Power.
Yeah,
I didn't get to watch your guys'. Yeah, okay. I didn't get to watch Deadpool though, but can you give me a quick sum up of how the hogCAST went? Because I was traveling when you guys did that.
You haven't watched it?
Oh. Well, no, I've been. Do you know how many movie theaters there are in Alaska? There's like one, and it's about a 5-hour drive. I'm not going to go there.
How do we sum it up? We all liked it. It was the right film at the right time.
Yep.
It kind of drew a line under all the crap we've had for the last couple of years, and it's given us a bit of faith in Marvel.
Really?
Well, we were talking about a bit of faith, and then tiny bit of faith. And I think we kind of talked ourselves out of it.
Somebody there knows what they're doing, but is it only for Deadpool? Are they like, screw it, I don't want to be part of everything else, just this?
Yeah, no, Ryan Reynolds is the
ruin
person.
That's a good question. I think it was only for Deadpool, but I think it was what everyone. That's what we was discussing last time. In my opinion, it's what everyone needed, which was it seemed to draw a line under everything. It just ripped the piss out of everything that had come before it.
That's good.
And I don't know if you caught up with any of the San Diego Comic-Con or D23 announcements, Amber. Did you catch any of that stuff?
No, but I did hear that there was like a pedophile ring that was captured there or something. They put out a sting and captured like, I don't know, 30 people or something.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't
there we go. Kevin Feige was involved in that.
I think they tried to keep it on the DL, but I mean, what a place to have a sting, you know? I guess they had people disguised as Johns and as the hookers and caught a bunch of people. I'm like, well, I bet you caught a lot of Johns, I'm sure. You're at a San Diego Comic-Con. But
we don't go there.
But Deadpool was good.
That's good. I'm so glad that Deadpool is good. At least there's something positive going on.
Yeah, it was, and it drew a line under everything. It was, I think it was the antidote we needed to everything that had been going on. I think it was just, we can relax now.
Little bit.
Okay.
And like I said, there's been a little bit more follow-up from Ryan Reynolds and his team trying now to get in and write for Marvel. I think they've been thrown a few projects. Again, rumor. But
can he do drama? Or is he like strictly comedy and taking the piss out of stuff?
I think it's a test. I'm not 100% certain. Like I say, it's just rumor.
I don't want to see any more of that.
No. It won't be Ryan Reynolds typical. He can't do Deadpool in other movies. It's like, you know, you can't take Spider-Man and turn him into Deadpool. It's not going to work.
Can't it?
What I'm saying, no, it can't.
Can't it?
You can't. No, you can't.
We are talking about dismal minus here. Whatever works, they want to do again and replicate again and again and again. But to be fair, with Deadpool, third time, like the first film, because where I've been not a fan of the character, I've never been a fan of the character. I just see the character as a one-trick pony in the comics. So when the first film actually worked, I was pleasantly surprised.
Yeah.
And then, you know me, it was like the second film, and we've probably been over this ground before, but the second film, and I thought, oh, a one-trick pony, a one joke. That's all it is.
Oh, you didn't like the second one, did you?
Yeah.
You did like it?
Yes. They made it work again. They had old Josh Brolin in it as Cable, and they made him the straight man. And that is the beauty of it. They realise that you need, in any good comedy, have a straight man. And
yeah, you do.
Brolin in the second one. Oh, as well as Colossus and a few of the other X-Men, it's only Deadpool that's the idiot. A couple of his mates, you know, like his mate who runs the bar and all that. Everything else in the Marvel universe is played straight. And it's reached its peak now with the third.
Yeah.
Just my pure personal opinion. With matching him up with Logan, that was the yin and the yang of the whole thing. That's pure with Logan, with Wolverine, that is your ultimate straight man. Now, there cannot be a Deadpool 4. It's done.
Yeah, they'll skip that and go straight to 5.
Yes. Well, if
it'd actually be pretty funny if they did that. Like Deadpool 5, and everyone's going, "Where the hell's Deadpool 4?" And they just never say anything.
I mean, if anyone could do it, Ryan Reynolds and his team could probably, as he actually said to the Bishop, they could pull it off. But if they're going to move over, if that rumor, Tayters, that kind of worries me a little bit, because all they're doing is moving. All right, it worked with Deadpool, but they're just going to move all that across to everything else now.
Again, it's rumor. We hear lots of rumors, as you know. We get rumors all the time, but how, you know, time will tell.
Because I'm liking the fact that Fantastic Four film.
Yeah.
And I've still got my doubts. I've still got my reservations, but
of course,
setting it in the 60s.
Yeah.
You know, there's nothing we can go on. I mean, I think there was one picture released this week where you see the Thing, and they've gone for the classic look with the.
Where they were putting him in his makeup, where they were putting him in his. Yeah. I saw that.
They've gone for the classic rock.
Yeah,
man,
and it's practical
with the big, with the big eyebrows and all, you know, or with the big forehead and all that. And I thought, oh, they're setting it in the 60s. They're going for the classic look. They've got 4 good actors there.
Yeah.
You know,
well, I mean, they've tried it twice already in a more modern time, and it didn't work. So, I like the idea of going back to the 60s, going back to its roots as such.
Yeah, and I'll say it's just if this is a course, like we said last time, if it's a course correction, you know, it's going to get to a certain point, and I think it will probably be the Avengers movies where everyone will just be done after that, because they'll just hopefully they don't make the same mistake again and just get to the point where they think they can do whatever they want again. By looks of this Deadpool and Wolverine film, it looks like they've learnt their lesson, move forwards, give us some good shit, and then hopefully it stays like that. But it will never reach the same heights as what it once was.
I don't think they're going to have enough time to get there, Liz, in all honesty. I reckon the next sort of 5-6 years, superheroes are gone. I really do.
Yeah.
I can see that genre just fizzling out now after the next 5 or 6 years.
It would have run its definitely run its
and it's done.
It's a
What
shame.
was that one that was like rated R that came out? It was way back, like at least a decade. And there was the sex scene in the ship, and then you saw the blasters go off outside the ship. What was that? It had the smiley face as the, come on, there was a show that they did as a spinoff.
Watchmen.
Come on, it's a superhero. And it had the guy who's all blue and he goes nuclear.
Oh,
or he's
Watchmen.
going to.
Yeah, Watchmen.
Watchmen, yeah. I think we might get stuff like that where it's just like a standalone and it's like that's it. I think those could do really well, where it's not a franchise. It's literally just here's one story from this particular hero. Because I remember when that came out and it made a splash outside of the comic book hero fan base because I saw it and I wasn't into that stuff at the time. And I was like, wow, I heard it's really good and it's like a very adult story. And at the end, you feel like, wow, I watched a good movie. And I did. So I think stuff like that will still come along, but I don't think that the franchises are going to last much longer. They're going to become like those CGI knockoff movies that you always see, like when Finding Nemo came out, and then you get like the little clownfish that got lost. Like, that was like you have these cheap ones. It's going to be like that. You're going to have, there was a snail race one that was so ridiculous, but I think that you'll get stuff like Marvel's going to feel like that. It's going to be like, this is so cheap. Nobody wants to do this anymore. If you're getting big budget actors and they're like, who's watching these? Every single Marvel movie, with the exception of like Deadpool here, has been a flop, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Like every single one.
Years, yeah.
They got to think about the money at some point.
You would think.
You'd hope so.
That was the one concern, again, coming out of all the announcements with the Russo brothers coming back, with Robert Downey Jr. coming back. Apparently, that figure we didn't know is near on 90 million for Robert Downey Jr. to come back.
That's a lot.
They're still having that let's throw money at it to solve it. That they haven't lost that yet. And
something is very wrong in the way that Hollywood is operating, especially with these franchise shows. It's just so wrong. Like, how can it sustain? I don't understand how. Like, Hog, do you know more about the industry than I do? Like, how the hell are they still going? Shouldn't they be bankrupt by now? Shouldn't everybody be bankrupt at this point?
Yes, you would think so. I literally don't know. We've spoken about this.
Tax evasion.
We've spoken about this.
Tax evasion. Just don't pay taxes. You can spend that on movies that don't work.
And we kind of all know that it's the parks that are funding the loss-making. Like recently, the loss-making, but you only need one hit. You only need a Deadpool, and then suddenly you've got a stream of investment for your next couple of films.
Yeah,
it's just like they stumble forward. They just kind of, I don't know.
Oh.
All right.
That's all right.
It was going to
the OnlyFans content.
I was realizing it's going to blow over in the wind, so I'm like, I've got to move it. I'll hold it with my feet. That works.
Was it a bear? I thought you was getting attacked by a bear then.
Nah, I've got the camera between my feet now.
That'll get the viewership up.
There we go. Okay. It's not going to blow away now. So, I was worried it's going to fall fly.
So the big release since we all last met.
Rings of Poop.
Yeah.
Rings of Pooper.
Come on. Who wants to start this one off, gang?
That was a struggle, wasn't it?
About Marvel. Go on.
That was a struggle, wasn't it? Was it?
Yeah,
I wasn't the only one that struggled with that first episode.
No, I struggled.
Oh, no, I didn't even finish it. I fell asleep watching it, and then I was like, I better watch it. And so I got up this morning to watch it, and I stopped paying attention. Like, I was daydreaming while I was watching it.
It felt so disjointed. I had to keep rewinding it. What did I miss? What?
Yeah.
Oh, it just done my head in after a little while.
So bearing in mind, I got to episode 3 of the first season before I tapped out. I feel like I missed no story at all.
Well, didn't they do like a 20-minute sort of catch up at the beginning of the episode?
Yeah, well, they did that,
like...
and it's like, but everything, bear in mind, I didn't see the rest of it. All the things I thought was that bloke was Sauron, that bloke's Gandalf, and all that crap. It was all, I predicted that from episode 1.
Yeah.
Like, you didn't need any of the rest of that season. And then, it was just so slow. It's like that sludge that Sauron became when he got killed, and the sludge was just like having a bit of, it eats a caterpillar, then we fade out. It eats a bug, then it fades out. Eats a rat, then it fades out. Then it slowly crawls up a mountain. Then it crawls down the mountain. It was like, it was 10 minutes of watching some sludge. It was like 10 minutes of some sludge. Yeah, he does, yeah. It was like 10 minutes of watching some sludge roll around. It was, And then Galadriel again. Oh, I can't stand that woman. I really can't. I really can't. She just she's done all this stuff, and at the beginning they're like, "Yeah, you messed up," but she has no punishment for it. There's no punishment. She literally puts everyone in danger,
and they give her a ring.
And they give her a ring. and she even says, "You should." The bloke said, the High King says, "I should banish you to wherever and do this and do that." She goes, "Well, why don't you then?" And he goes, I'm contemplating it. And that's all he says.
Yeah, go on then. Yeah,
go on then. Yeah. Like, it's terrible. Overall, boring. Just absolutely boring. There was nothing in it that intrigued me, or it just moved way too slow.
I actually felt like the pacing was closer to what we had in the original 3. The problem is that there were no stakes. There was nothing, like, I wasn't sure what the goal was or what the danger was, even, because they're saying like, oh, we don't know if Sauron's put some evil into these rings. That's it. That's what we've got. Like, honestly, I feel like they don't really know where they want to take this story, because this feels like we are meandering in order to waste time until we get to something that we want to happen at some point, but the characters aren't where they're supposed to be yet. It has the telltale signs of busy work, and let's make it seem like it's really important, but we're all sitting there going, I'll bet this could have been abbreviated in some way and it would have been more interesting. But I can't make a judgment on the whole episode, because like I said, I fell asleep from boredom, and then when I attempted the second time, I lost focus because of boredom. I literally was catching myself daydreaming and going, well, you know what? I guess I better rewind this. And I'm watching the same scene like 3 times. So I'm like, I can't get through the scene without, like, I don't give a crap. I'm like, maybe I should go and get the bear gun and go for a hike or something. Like, I'm honestly.
The bear gun.
Yeah.
Since when did Eldron become an Olympic diving champion?
Yeah.
Like, I know he's an elf and that, but that was a bloody high waterfall. He ain't going to survive that.
I can believe it for elves, because they're supposed to be a little bit superhuman, but not a whole lot. Like, the whole one versus an army. I mean, that's why when we saw it in the 2 Towers, because I'm just doing movie comparisons, in the 2 Towers, we did see elves get killed by orcs. Like, they're not immortal. And then we saw it actually in Rings of Power season 1, an elf died, right? Actually, I think a couple did. But yeah, but you can't be superhuman. But jumping off a waterfall, I could be like, well, he's going with the flow of the river, and they would know how to do that in the safest way. I know it sounds so weird, like stupid, but look, I'm having to make excuses for the things that they're doing in this show, and you shouldn't have to do that. As an audience, everything should make sense. You shouldn't have to be like, hey, it doesn't make sense that this character lived, and everybody goes, oh no, well, if you think about it, do this thing and this thing and this thing, and the history of elves and their oneness with nature makes it so that they can flow with the river. And like, you need to show that like it's a part of that character. It should be that we see that happening a lot, so then when this sort of thing happens, we go, oh, that makes sense.
And it's like the diminishing character. If it was totally separate with characters we don't even know, I could just go, yeah, it's not for me, it's part of shit, don't really care about it. But Gandalf is stupid as hell.
Yeah,
he can't even find his way out. It takes a little halfling or half foot, where they bloody called him, to point him in the right way of a hill, which was right in front of him the whole bloody time. Gandalf is just useless. It's not good. And then you've got Sauron, that's acting like a Bond villain, just walking around manipulating people, and I'm going to wind them up, then I'm going to go over there, I'm going to try and manipulate that person. He's the big bad. He's supposed to be a scary bastard.
Yeah.
And he's just.
But doesn't it feel like nobody knows where the script is supposed to go? Doesn't it feel like that?
Yeah. And then Galadriel was just Where's that sort of enigmatic, like Kate Blanchett Galadriel? There's not even a hint of that.
The dialogue.
Oh my God.
So bad.
That was as bad as Star Wars. That was like Disney plus Star Wars dialogue.
Yeah,
wasn't it?
I mean, so
I felt it in the first 1 minute. In the first minute, I was like, is this for real?
I've got to say, though, there was a moment that did make me laugh out loud, and I genuinely mean that, because it reminded me of you, Hog. Do you remember when we was taking the piss out of season 1 and you were doing the old Galadriel? And someone actually said it. Someone actually said it like that. And I just thought, I was like, no, that's
doing the
that's it. I'm done now. Yeah, Galadriel.
It was the Amateur Dramatic Society production.
Yeah.
Of
that was
Rings
it.
of Power.
It. Wherefore after Galadriel.
Shocking.
I am Sauron. I am baddie. Oh.
Can no one say Sauron either?
The guy at the beginning, because I thought that scene, the setup, if I'm going to really, and guys, I'm going to balance out everything you've all said, and I'm going to find that little bit of sweet corn, right?
Okay.
Go on. And
I'm waiting to see where this goes. Like, how? Let's see. Okay, go for it.
No, but that opening scene was so dark. I didn't know what was going on because I hadn't seen series 1. I'd seen.
Hang on. When you say dark, do you mean dark in like the way they played it, or the fact that they just didn't have much lighting?
Yeah, both.
Both.
Yeah, both.
Yeah.
and the makeup of
the TV was broke.
mate. Yeah.
The makeup of the orcs, I thought, oh, come on, this is all on point for the films. I thought all the, they'd done a few close-ups of an orc going, grrr, and then there was another grrr. And I thought, oh, this is like the film. And then they focus on the old Sauron with his little blonde wig, and he's going, oh, hello. Hello, my name's Sauron, and actually I'm going to control you, and we're all going to go to. And I thought, it doesn't make sense that this little effeminate man is, and he's a good actor. He's out of Slow Horses, the guy who plays Sauron, blonde bloke in the.
Okay, it's that guy. I thought he looked familiar. Yes,
he's out of Slow Horses. He's a good actor. He's a great British actor, but. And straight away, you're thinking, how the hell are you in control of, and of all the times where you expect a little bit of CGI, it would have been in that opening scene, because he was talking to about 30 or 40 orcs, wasn't he?
Yeah. That's why I was shot so dark, so you couldn't see how many there were.
It was like he was in the village hall. Talking to the it's the smallest cave in the smallest mountain. Instead of it being a resounding speech in front of thousands, like, how does this man control the orcs? Like, what makes him think? Like, I don't know why he was there. I don't know what makes him. He gets. Oh, spoiler alert! They stab him in the back with a crown, didn't they?
That was the impression I got, that he was there and he wanted that.
I kind of thought that too, but then. They didn't. Like, it didn't pan out that way. He didn't want that. But okay, do you remember in Peter Jackson's movies, whenever Saruman was speaking to the orcs, he seemed imposing. He was this frail old man in white, but he had this commanding voice that just seemed to go on for obviously this is not physically possible, but they enhanced it, and it was believable then, because here he is, this tall, like, graceful character. He almost seems angelic, not angelic like purity angel, but like that kind of awe and power. Now, if they had done Sauron like that, I think I would have loved it, because then I would have been like, the orcs are afraid of him, but they hate him. And then one of them turns on him and all the others they go too. I think they could have done so little to this scene to still be that like violent, et tu brute sort of moment.
Yes.
They could have still had that, but it wasn't believable, like you said, that they would listen to this guy. Like, he looked like just a dude.
Yeah.
And that's a tiny detail. It's a tiny detail, but it's an important one, because everybody's here is going like, none of these orcs like him. And if it's so easy to just kill him, and they're like, oh, well, we showed that it's not easy to kill him because, they stabbed him and he still was fighting back and he was vicious. I was like, let's give an impression of him being great and above all of them in some way, and yet when one of them does manage to stab them, they all kind of like dogpile on him. Like, I would have loved that. I think it would have played out really well.
But it diminishes Sauron even more though, because now we've seen him lose multiple times. Like, so knowing his future, we see him lose with Isildur. We see him lose with obviously during the Lord of the Rings trilogy. Now he's
and it should have been on purpose.
His first loss was to a bunch of orcs in a cave where he just got stabbed and killed, and somehow he didn't die, and he's some sort of bit of sludge. Basically, Sauron is the bloke that keeps losing.
He turned into Swamp Thing.
No, he turned into Hexus from Fern Gully. Hexus, remember the sludge monster from Fern Gully? I was like, that's Hexus.
But it just means that has Sauron ever won a battle? Do you know what I mean? Like,
at this point.
So to me, it just makes him not a very good bad guy. And again, from Lord of the Rings, he's this big imposing figure. Like when you see him in the opening sequence of Fellowship, this big imposing figure. He's scary. That's why everyone's
he's
bowing
like
down
twice
to him.
as big as everybody. Yeah,
exactly. So how does this little blonde bloke become that? Do you know what I mean? It just doesn't make sense.
Christopher Lee, is that not a classic? I.e., the filmmakers involved knew what they were doing. By the time we see Saruman controlling the orcs, we've seen what the bloke can do, haven't we? Whereas with this we're watching, I know they've tried to do it. They had one orc, didn't they, trying to give him, So someone somewhere is saying we need to show what power he has over the 24 orcs that are in the village hall. But it just doesn't, they've got no, I don't know what it is, nothing fits, nothing, there's no scale to it. There's no, and I think Lord of the Rings needs that. It
does.
Everything needs to be large.
I'm saying we're spending $1 billion on it. It's not like they ain't got the budget.
Rings and well, you do need to have the like at the beginning of the first film, we're in Hobbiton, and you're looking at the little. They start so small, don't they? And they expand. Anyone who's never read the books, it just goes on and on
and on.
Yeah,
on and on. But this series, I don't know what it is.
It's painfully slow.
I wouldn't even say slow is the right word. I think disjointed is probably the best word for what I've seen so far. It just seems all over the place. And like I said, because of that, it's boring. You just sort of like, rewind it, try that again, rewind it, try that again, rewind it. And it's no.
But you would think after the, like, don't get me wrong, like they would have had, after season 1, you would hope they would have had their plans, because there was supposed to be 5 seasons, wasn't it?
You got to remember though, this was all done and agreed and started before season 1 even come out.
So was it filmed before season 1 came out?
They started principal photography before season 1 was even released. So they didn't have any feedback from season 1.
I was about to say, you'd think they'd have learned some of the lessons, wouldn't you?
This is exactly what Wheel of Time did too. They were shooting the next season before the previous one was debuted or premiered, whatever. And they did that for 3 seasons. This next one will be the 3rd season, which is coming out next year, hopefully. When it comes out, it's going to be the 3rd time that they have put out a season without even hearing what the fans think of it.
Oh.
And people, 60% of the audience, I think, is all that remained after season 1. And I'm sure it shrank a lot more after season 2. They're going to have no viewers. It's a really stupid way to do business. This is one of those things where I'm like, I cannot fathom how this works. Who agrees to, like, no business person would look at this and say, this is an intelligent way to do this. So how are they still doing it? I agree with Hog though. I thought it looked good. It looked better than season 1, actually, as far as like trying to create the aesthetic. But they have no numbers, no people, no vast armies like their budget is going towards lighting and costumes, like intricate art on the set, and having lots of sets. Like you can tell they've got a lot of sets in this. But they don't have any extras. And that's so important to making the world feel populated, like to feel like this is an expansive place. Look at a lot of the Lord of the Rings movies, especially the second one where you're in Rohan and it's those open rolling hills and you can see like trains of people who are like escaping Rohan. And those are all real people on horses and wagons. And it's like there's hundreds of them. I don't think even that final battle in season 1 looked like it had maybe 50 people in it.
Yeah.
So it's just really weird.
I'm thinking though, just thinking off the cuff in terms of one of the reasons why you would do that, because of the scale of it. And when I say scale, I'm using the term very loosely because I would say they're doing it in a village hall, but where they've got so much to film and they're trying to make it bigger, if they waited for season 1 to be filmed, done, released, would that have meant a 2-year, 3-year gap between seasons by the time they then write the next season?
Writing.
Possibly 2.
I'm just thinking, have they done it to try and basically push it out as quickly as possible?
There's no reason, because there's still no excuse for it. You know, we are still picking at the sweet corn here, aren't we?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, big time.
That opening scene, I did actually think, after the recap, I thought, right, I'm going to watch the recap. And that was kind of sending me off a little.
Stop, 22 minutes long. Yeah. It was a 22-minute recap. All that did was remind me that I'd forgotten everything from season 1.
That's it.
Yeah.
Like, oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
It reminded me why I didn't watch the first season.
Yeah.
Anyway. But when it
did I miss why the heck Elrond was running away from Galadriel? Like, I got that he's got the rings and he doesn't want Galadriel to, take them.
In the slowest horse chase ever.
Yeah. Well, but I'm just going to, they skipped a beat where it was, I think they skipped a beat because as far as I recall, the rings were made and everybody's standing in that room with the rings. And that's the end of the series or series 1. Did I forget that there was a moment where Elrond snatches them and takes off and Galadriel's chasing after him? I don't know why Elrond, I don't know. I'm just so very confused. I feel like they don't seem to understand what people want to see and need to see. We want to see these shifts in the story happen. We don't want it to happen off screen. And then we come in and we're like, oh, he stole the rings and he's running away. Like that would have been an interesting thing to see. It's very, I'm sorry. I couldn't believe how bored I was. The editor's blind?
I think the editor's blind. Yeah.
I never saw season 1.
Shove them together.
And it could have started in the village hall with the speech. So you get the recap and then it starts. And then you have got, I will say, it was good makeup. And they load of nice close-ups of different orcs going grr, right? Yeah. Oh, come on. Yeah. Come on. I like this. But instead of like the guys talking, but even the speech wasn't rousing, was it? Like we were saying earlier about Saruman, Christopher Lee, how he delivered whatever was going on.
It was like listening to your local MP, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. Vote for me.
Like what?
Vote for me. Your local MP, your member of parliament.
Local member of parliament, like your local.
Yeah.
The equivalent would be in America, like senator. No.
Senator, yeah. No, I think you're right. Probably our senators are a little bit more rambunctious, I think. But
there was
I think
if there was a time to use CGI, like start off with the few of them, the practical effects, and they're in a cave. But at the end of that 5 or 10 minutes, because it was quite a long scene, weren't it? With the with the knife trying to stab him, and they was bringing the crowd. And I was thinking, oh, do you know what? This is I just like the tone of it. I really did. So I know I'm clinging on to this one sweet corn here, but nevertheless, they dropped the ball because they never expanded beyond the village hall. Instead of giving us a bit of CGI, all right, you've got 40, 50 blokes dressed up as orcs. Lovely. You've done a good job, lads. Why the hell they couldn't have just expanded that, given us a scene or two that by the end of it, you know, everyone's going like more of them are going, "Rrr," but you're just a minute out. And you're seeing that they're not just in a village hall, that in fact, they're under a mountain and there's about 100,000 orcs down there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even though the bloke with his little blonde wig, he's never going to, you know, he's no Christopher Lee, is he?
I wouldn't be surprised if they add something like that in, because like Netflix added in scenes to, well, HBO did basically fixes, and with what is it called, Game of Thrones. Remember when people were finding water bottles and stuff, and they would have to go back in and retouch it and then put it back up? Well, Netflix did the same thing. They added scenes into Shadow and Bone season 1 right before season 2 came out, because people were having a difficult time keeping up with where people were in the world. So what they did is they just did one of those map transitions where, you know, the camera moves away and we're like, we were in this village and now we're dropping into this one. And it just made perfect sense. So they can do that with these streaming services, make edits that they upload later. I wonder if they'll do some stuff like that with Rings of Power.
Probably not.
So
they don't care.
moving on, yeah, I don't think anyone cares. But moving on from that, Tayters, I know this is one of your favourites, the War of Rohirim.
The War of Rohirim. I don't know if it's one of my favourite. I like everything that's come so far.
You're looking forward to it?
I do too.
I'm looking forward to it. I really am. Yeah.
What are we thinking of the trailer?
I really enjoyed it. Like, yeah, I really enjoyed it.
It's like this. It's like almost, but like there.
Personally, I didn't have much of a problem with the trailer. I watched it a few times, and there wasn't anything in there that made me sort of go, "Ooh, that's not good."
There's nothing offensive.
Not to me.
Yeah.
No, not to me. Like I said, to me, it's like we know the story of Helm Hammerhand. We have that in the appendices. Why would you need to do that in depth again? You wouldn't. So you just sidestep, and that's the thing we've been moaning about a lot. You're doing something in a world. Don't mess around with what we know. Just move slightly over, and that appears to be what they've done. We had an unnamed character, Helm's daughter. They're now expanding her character. Okay, I know a lot of people are on the sort of like, oh, here we go with the strong female character, but it wasn't a problem with Eowyn when she fought. Yeah, exactly.
Because she was multi-dimensional in her the exploration of what she was. She was courageous, not just on the battlefield. She was courageous just in her life in general. I mean, she was somebody who was just enduring being abandoned and losing her loved ones and still staying strong and the nurturer and supporting people. And I'm not saying that you have to portray every woman like that, but I'm saying that it was a breath of fresh air, or it was a breath of great air back when it was like, this isn't such a rare thing. But now, today, you would watch Eowyn and you'd be like, wow, she was such a great character. Because we don't see women who are portrayed as warrior women, because she was, we don't see them portrayed so fully like we did with her. She didn't demand obedience.
No. But we don't know what Hera's story is. We've only seen her in a 2-minute trailer. And her story is definitely all chopped up. You know, you got scenes of her fighting with Wolf as young kids, and you know, I don't know. I'll just wait. I'm actually looking forward to it. I really am. I think it's mostly positive.
I've got to put my hand up here.
Yeah.
I didn't think much of the trailer.
That's all right.
Mainly because
no representation of lizards.
He's put his claw. He's put his claw up.
I put my little claw up.
He's put his claw up.
That's it.
I wasn't a fan of the animation.
Oh, neither actually am I. The mouths don't work.
Yeah, it didn't feel like Lord of the Rings at all to me. Just the general feel and the animation style just didn't feel like it fitted in that world. I just wasn't.
I thought it did. I thought they'd done it really well.
Don't get me wrong. I'm intrigued by the story of it. That's the good thing about it. But off of that trailer, I don't know. I think that the animation didn't quite work for me in terms of
anime style. And I'm with Tayters. I'm looking forward to it, and I do like the animation style. But it's very similar in the in style, animation style, to the Terminator Zero.
Yes.
Oh.
So what are we thinking about that? Because initially, I did find that jarring.
Yeah, I found it quite jarring.
I didn't find War of the Room jarring, but I don't know with Terminator Zero, and I haven't watched it yet, but from the trailer and from people's reactions, that apparently it's good.
I'm enjoying it. I'm 3 episodes in. I'm enjoying it.
Oh, come on, Tayters.
Yeah. No, I think I've worked it out already. What the long-term story is going to be at the end of this. I'm not going to say anything. But yeah, I'm enjoying the way it's going, and it looks right. It seems to fit. Again, you've got the one strong female character, but it's not out of place. Again, this is a world where we had Sarah Connor, so you know she's the Kyle Reese of this,
right?
Yeah. Oh, okay.
So yeah, she's the one coming back to fight the Terminator in the past. You know, they're back in 1997. They're in Japan, and it's another version of Judgment Day. And the fact that they released it on August 29th, I thought that was fantastic. Because that was Judgment Day. August 29th, 1997.
I knew that.
Yeah, of course I did. I could see by that blank expression.
I knew that. Yeah, I was so happy about that.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, everyone. Yeah.
Well, I think a lot of people like animation is one of those things that no matter what the style is, I find that I'm really paying attention to it in the beginning because it's hard to not notice that this is a weird kind of animation. But it doesn't take long if the story is good for you to completely forget that entirely. And I've noticed that in like basically every anime that I've ever watched. And I don't watch a whole lot of anime, but I always have that issue because I love the fluidity of like Disney animation. You don't get that in a Miyazaki, but I don't care because Miyazaki's movies are so engaging with the stories and what's being focused on, and you know the backgrounds are gorgeous and the colors are lovely.
Sound and the voices and the story and what they're talking about. Yeah, you just get lost. You get lost in the whole thing. You are immersed in the whole.
It becomes like a comic, like or a manga. You know, like you don't need to have animation to be fully sucked in and engaged. You can not like the design of the characters, but once you really like them, you don't care about that stuff. You even start to like it. You go, actually, I like the way this is drawn.
Yeah.
So maybe just give it a bit of a test run for a couple episodes. Well, it's a movie, right?
No, it's episodes.
Why is it coming out in theaters though?
Oh, that's Rohirim, isn't it?
No, War of the Rohirim is movie. Yeah.
That's what I was talking about. Sorry.
Yeah, sorry.
Terminator
Zero's episodes on Netflix.
I thought that looked good. I didn't get to watch it. I have not had time to do anything, but I will soon. So
you've been too busy running away from bears.
I have. Did you guys know that is for real? The whole running away from bears thing
and moose.
Well, moose are more. Yeah. No, my fencing career ended because I encountered a bear. You guys didn't know about that? Did I ever tell you that?
I've heard that story. Yeah.
Why was you fencing a bear?
Oh, just something different. It wasn't it. It was just like, you know, a bit of a different opponent.
Moral to this story: never sword fight a bear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's a script there somewhere. We've had cocaine bear. I'm sure we can have fencing bear.
Fencing bear. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Oh, talking about scripts.
Yes.
The script that Tony was filming.
Yes.
Amber, my friend or our friend Tony.
Oh, okay.
A film which me have wrote has just literally wrapped filming.
They're finished now. Oh, awesome.
Yeah, including Dua Lipa's sister.
Very nice.
In a little.
I've got no idea who that is, but yeah.
Neither do I. Oh man, that's awesome. Who is she?
Really? That was my big reveal for the night.
Oh, brilliant.
Oh, I'm sorry. You didn't mean to take that out of you. Take the wind out of your sail.
Probably one of the biggest pop stars. It's no good, is it? If I say probably one of the top 5.
Is it Kylie?
Yeah,
Minogue?
but this is like a She-Hulk moment. Do you remember when they introduced who was the pop star in She-Hulk that nobody knew?
Oh yeah, who was that?
Megan Thee Stallion, was it, or something like that? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I don't know who Dupa Lipa is or whatever her name is.
Is that when they was twerking in the office? Oh my god.
Oh my gosh.
Anyway, no, so I'm really happy. And apparently she now do her brother, because obviously her sister's a mega world superstar. Her brother's an up and coming DJ in that world. You know, they're all younger. Google it, everyone, when we're off air. But anyway, so now I am now writing a film specifically for her.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Good job.
Ooh,
Very nice.
very cool.
That will go to her. You know, it's all pie in the sky. Don't get me wrong.
Hey,
I'll follow that.
Yeah,
I'll give it.
You'll get your piece.
Yeah, I'll give it a go. So yeah, I'm quite happy about that.
Well, have we got a loose synopsis of what the movie's going to be? Are there any fencing bears in it or anything like that?
It's going to be.
I want to know.
Well, strangely enough, she's a ballet dancer.
Oh,
so
what, the bear?
It's a fencing bear that also does ballet.
There are no animals. There are no animals. They say never work with children and animals. hogCAST is enough. hogCAST is enough. With Tayters and Liz, like that's my children and animals sorted. So I'm doing a kind of hybrid. I'm doing a kind of Man on Fire meets
Kung Fu Panda.
Bodyguard.
Oh.
And Black Swan. What did you say?
Wait, wasn't
Man
there
on Fire meets Kung Fu Panda? No.
No.
What was Red Sparrow? Wasn't Red Sparrow a bit like that?
Yeah.
That was J-Lo, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was yeah. What's that? Yeah.
No, that was the.
Jennifer Lawrence.
Yes.
Yeah.
I stopped watching that movie after about 2 minutes. I saw how she broke her leg, and I was like, "I'm done. This is over." It's. I don't know if it was any good, but I just felt so dumb.
It wasn't very good, to be fair.
No, it wasn't.
Okay.
No, it wasn't one of the best.
Never saw it.
No. No. Yeah.
Anyway, great. Well done. That's fantastic.
Yeah, that's great.
Back in the writing,
Smashing
getting
it.
some credits.
So
Awesome.
yeah, you know, let's see. We'll see.
Are we going to get an early screening as your friends of the movie that's done?
Yes. Premiere will be. You'll have a ticket to the premiere, the Alaskan premiere.
Hopefully, I won't be here by the time that happens. It's too cold. It's like not even started. I'm freezing. But no, when are you guys looking at for release for premiere?
Being edited now. Between now and Christmas, it will be the edit, and then we're looking at selling it at Cannes. So that's May next year. So maybe there'll be a premiere somewhere along the line before Cannes. I mean, I'm preempting all that crap.
Okay.
But it makes sense to kind of premiere it at maybe BAFTA and, you know, a couple of little select premieres before you go to Cannes to sell it. Because then you've got a bit of about, oh my God, I saw that. geekyOlhog's got a film out.
Well, if next year, maybe, because I was going to come to England this last summer, but that fell through because of having to come up here. But I'll change my trip to next year. Come and see it.
Yeah.
Or,
if we're premiering,
I'll exchange one possible celebrity meeting for another.
Ah, bless.
Yeah.
But,
and one cold shit weather place for a wet shit weather place.
You've got more celebrity contacts that may be in Cannes next year. It might be that might be the trip worth doing. If you want to shoot September, maybe that's just you know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Rather than just come to London to watch a film and then hang out with us lot, might be
that'd be great.
Time, you know, it'll be better coming to England, hanging out with us. But I'm just thinking, career-wise, you know, you can prove that you can wear your bear skins, prove that your kids
look like Grizzly Adams.
I was so tempted to buy a skunk hat. I saw somebody at the parking lot wearing it looked like a Davy. You know who Davy Crockett is? It looked like that, but it was a skunk with a skunk tail. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's so cool. Like someone just wearing that to the grocery store. I was like, I should get one of those.
You're looking at him thinking to yourself, I need that.
Yeah.
Got Pepe Le Pew
Where
in his
can
head.
I get me one? Yeah. This is what he got. A pervy skunk after poor what's her face.
Yeah, Pepe Le Pew. Yeah. Oh, was that his name? He was. Yeah, it was Pepe Le Pew, wasn't it? Oh.
Yeah, he's always after that little kitty cat.
Yeah.
I think he's been canceled.
Probably.
Oh yeah, big time. Yeah, all those Warner Brothers. Yeah. All them, they're all done, aren't they? Mel Blanc. So talking of cartoons, and I know this is one that is on Tayters' radar at the moment, is Sonic the Hedgehog 3.
I've got 2 young kids that love Sonic the Hedgehog. So yes.
Aww.
I haven't, and I love Sonic the Hedgehog. I don't know what that says. I don't know. Literally, I don't know what that says. I love the films.
You got to support your
yeah,
fellow
that's it.
hedgehogs,
When I showed them that trailer, we had to then watch the first 2 movies again. So it was just like that was my afternoon done.
It doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt that Jim Carrey is in them as Robotnik. It doesn't hurt.
Is he coming back for the 3rd one?
Yeah.
Yes, he's Robotnik,
Oh.
and he plays Robotnik's dad.
Yeah.
Oh.
Very excited.
I didn't know that. Now I actually want to see it. Honestly, I was like, I don't know what the hell he's watching this for, but I had no idea Jim Carrey's in it. I'd be curious to see. Oh my god!
Look what I picked up today.
Supporting fellow hedgehogs.
I'm collating. I'm what's the word? I'm getting together a collection. What's the word? Come on, Amber, you must know. I am not
hoarding.
Not collating. It's into the sea. Shut up. I'm getting together a collection of comics appropriate for my grandson.
Curating?
Yes. Thank you, Tate.
Curating. Yeah, there you go. Okay, I had no idea what the hell you were talking about.
I knew it was on about. I just wanted to see him struggle. I just wanted to see him struggle.
The collection. That must be worrying for you, Taters, that you understand what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Oh, anyway, I've got a soft spot for Sonic. And
of course you have.
And my grandson. So there you go. There you go. I just thought.
Is he standing yet?
No, he's trying. He's only 2.5 months.
Oh. Can he roll over?
No.
She's not a puppy.
Does
he sit and bark?
Yeah, should he be doing
over is the first thing that they learn to do. I remember when I was getting my niece to roll over. It's like, come on, roll over. You can do it. He wants to look like a dog.
He's a treat.
Like, yeah.
That's why they sent you to Alaska. You were so annoying.
You're turning our daughter into a dog. She can finally say my name, sort of. She goes, Appa, Appa. That's it.
Oh, ABBA, as in the Swedish pop group.
Or Appa.
Yeah. Can she say,
baby?
Have you tried to make her say geekyOlhog yet?
No. She says my brother's name. My brother's name's Coco. Coco? So freaking cute. My gosh, babies talking is like the best thing I've ever heard. I can't wait until Sunny's talking, and then you can just like, you're just going to be like, I want to stare at this kid and listen all day.
Yeah.
That's it. Well, it's the smiling now. Everyone's the last weekend away, we was all there, the whole family's there, and it's like every time he smiles, it's like you're going, oh, smile, but to see something that small, just go, yeah. What are we all doing? What are we all doing? And we weren't even drunk. That was 10 o'clock in the morning, because he smiles in the morning. He's a morning person. And he gets slowly more miserable during the day.
Yeah.
It's like you.
Yeah.
Sounds typical.
Just like his old granddad. Oh my God.
Oh. Do you live close to him?
Not literally round the corner, but no, not a million miles away. It's not like Arizona and that, but it does mean it's a bit of a schlep. It's a kind of 45-minute journey. So it's an hour and a half.
Gotcha.
But that doesn't mean I won't pop round there on a Saturday morning just to annoy him. Hello. Didn't I tell you I was popping in. Yeah,
That's it. Yeah.
I think I did. No, you didn't, Dad. Yeah, I think I did.
Just expect it every day now.
And that's yeah. I'd be really annoying if they was close.
Yeah.
I'd make my daily walk. I'd make them the route. Yeah,
Every single morning. I'm just me, just here to say hello to the baby.
Yeah.
Hello, baby.
Just get a smile.
Was there anything else? Was there anything else that's come out recently? In the last, obviously, since the last hogCAST.
I watched Ungentlemanly Warfare, but I don't think that's brand new.
Oh, has anyone tried that?
Oh, that's what's his face, isn't it? That's Cavill.
Yeah, Cavill.
That was
Richardson.
like the flop movie of his.
Yeah, it was Cavill and Alan Richardson, the one guy that does Reacher.
Yes,
it's a Guy Ritchie film.
Doesn't he play a French bloke or something?
No, he plays a Swedish bloke.
Oh, there we go. I knew,
or Danish bloke or something like that.
I thought you said a fridge bloke. I was like, a fridge bloke?
Fridge.
Fridge? French.
Yeah, it's
French.
So it's a Guy Ritchie film.
Did you watch it, Liz?
Yeah, all the way through. Yeah.
Is it worth a watch?
Your alien metabolism must have given you everything you needed to make it through.
Yeah, it was weird. So it's based on some journal notes from Winston Churchill.
Right.
Of one that apparently that's what it says at the beginning. And it's the first special forces mission where they're tasked to blow up some German boats so that way the US can then join the war. But they can't blow it up, so they end up stealing them. There's some funny bits in it, but overall, it's a bit of a mess considering it's come from Guy Ritchie. I was quite disappointed.
Right.
And it's got Cavill and Alan Richardson in it. And
when was that made? Because that's a few years ago.
I don't know. I literally saw it get dropped on Prime, and I thought, oh, that's new. And then I watched it, and it was just How far did you get, Hog?
And the build up to it, I've got to admit, I only got 10 or 15 minutes into it because I could see where they were going with it, which was comedic.
Yeah.
It wasn't like Tarantino with what's the one he done with the Nazis at the beginning and they're under the floor.
Glorious Bastards.
Glorious Bastards, right. So Tarantino was kind of applying a modern outlook, a modern age. But that was fine. But what Tarantino wasn't doing, and I'm not a fan of Tarantino, but when you compare it to what Guy Ritchie did with this abomination, was that Guy Ritchie just literally made it a comedy.
Yeah.
And
the weirdest thing is the end credits had the end credits had actual photos of the actual people and like what happened to them afterwards and all that sort of stuff. And the guy that Henry Cavill was playing,
Ian Fleming.
Yeah, what's that?
Ian Fleming.
That wasn't who Henry Cavill was playing, but Ian Fleming was a character in the film. But it said that the guy that Henry Cavill was playing is the one who basically inspired Bond. They said at the end. So Henry Cavill was playing the guy. No. Ian Fleming was in as a character in the film. He was one of the tech guys in the film. But it basically said at the end of it, he got like a load of Henry Cavill's character got a load of medals, and was the inspiration to Ian Fleming's Bond apparently at the end of it. But none of
That's crazy.
But none of it made sense because, like you say, it was a comedy.
Yeah,
and it just didn't.
Set in wartime, yeah.
War isn't a comedy, like
unless it's Blackadder.
Yeah. Yeah, full on spoof.
Yeah.
But the comedy in Blackadder, come on, let's face it, was they weren't telling no lies about what was actually going on.
No.
Were they? They might have, Captain Darling and all the rest of it, and all that. That was kind of like pure British comedy.
Yeah.
But the thing I found offensive with this ungentlemanly, what's it, was that they was making it. I don't know. It was halfway to a Carry On film, and I thought, why are you doing this? You could make. And Cavill was hamming it up, and so Reacher.
Yeah.
And they both look good, and they both. That opening scene again, the opening scene on the boat with the Nazis and all that, and there's a little bit of a build up, and you know what's coming. You know that Reacher and Superman are gonna fucking do them. But come on, and they do it, But after that, it's kind of like no, the tone of it was really off for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
If they could have just played it.
I was just intrigued to see what they were going to do with it.
Like the black, the black humour, you know, not being racist, but the black humour in those environments, in those situations where you do have to find, you know, you do have to have a bit of, and there, what I did like was the chemistry between Cavill and Reacher. I thought they really played it well.
Yeah,
I was.
It gets a bit ridiculous later on.
Oh, does it? Yeah, I could see
that. Yeah. But like I say it gets a bit ridiculous. It keeps cutting between. So there's basically they've got to try and infiltrate this Nazi camp. So they send 2 people undercover to try and seduce the commander of the camp and also get a big party thrown so everyone's preoccupied. Yeah. And then Cavill and that lot come in. But Reacher just goes on a warpath. He starts ripping out people's hearts and just it goes really, really strange, like proper over the top. And Cavill literally through the final battle just strolls through. It's like a joke because he literally just strolls through, walking, and he's got his stolen Nazi coat and Nazi hat on. And he's just strolling along and just literally pops out the gun, bang, goes on to the next person, bang. And he's just walking the whole time. Not a single shot goes near him. He's literally strolling through the battlefield. It is, yeah. And then to have that based on real people, that actually did something quite amazing by the sounds of it. I don't know the full extent of the true story, but like I say, because in the credits, because when they first said at the beginning, this is based on a true story. Yeah, I was like, is it? And then you see in the end credits, it's got the photos of the actual people with like a little biography underneath of what happened to them and all that sort of stuff. And I kind of found the film a bit disrespectful in that regard, because these people have done something amazing and you've just made a comedy out of it, and it should have been a serious drama of like a harrowing story.
I found it offensive, but not, you know, not as in like, oh my God, you know, I soiled myself and I had to write a letter to my local MP. But I just thought, this is, it's a shame. It was a waste because, like I say, the chemistry between old Reacher and Cavill, and even Reacher's character, where the Nazis were on board that boat at the beginning, and the script and how he was talking was as if him and Cavill were gay.
Yeah,
he was on the boat.
They play into that a few times.
But the Nazi was finding that obviously that's winding the Nazi up even more. And they was playing, and I thought, oh, this is quite a clever, you know, it was such a nicely nuanced, opening that I thought, oh, this is good. But then, oh my God, after they kind of slaughtered the Nazis on the boat, which was also awesome, I just thought, mate, this is like Carry On up my jumper. It was like, I thought, oh no, what are you doing? Like, don't do that. Don't do that. Keep it at that. Like that would have been just nicely, perfectly pitched, like Tarantino with Inglourious Bastards. He just pitched it with that black humour enough. There was a lot of humour. If you watch Inglourious Bastards again, and it isn't one of my favourite war films, but one thing I've got to give the bloke is that he does pitch the humour.
Right level, yeah.
He does pitch it perfectly. Or not humour, just that tongue in cheek. Even old, what's his name, Schwartz, what's the actor's name? The Nazi at the beginning who's sitting down at the table in the glass of milk. The scene went on for far too long. but it does set the tone for the rest of the film.
Yeah.
Where you know it's just a little bit of a wink to the audience, a little bit of tongue in cheek. But this one, no,
not a fan.
No surprises that was a shitter, to be fair. But you saw it the whole way through, Liz. It's probably because you've got no eyelids. Like, how do
you can't look away?
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. No, I was just intrigued to see where they were going to go with it. To be fair, but it progressively got worse and worse and worse.
I do love the based on a true story that they always tag on the. It's based on a true story, like it happened on Earth. That's it. It's just like as loose as we can make it.
Yeah. So I know it's a tenuous link, but it was based on Churchill's war memoirs, whatever it was, and Gary Oldman played Winston Churchill in a film, and Gary Oldman is in a series called Slow Horses, and series 4 of Slow Horses is now coming out.
Excellent.
That was your transition? Was that your transition just now?
That's it.
You got to work on
That's it.
transition.
It's that game, isn't it? 3 Degrees to Kevin Bacon. It's just getting there with.
Do better than that, girlfriends. Of any of you 3, I don't think you have. I'm going to ask you again. Seen Slow Horses yet?
No.
Do yourselves a favour.
No, I started it.
Oh, Amber, what do you think?
Well, I was interested, but I wasn't able to continue with it. And I thought my family was going to watch it. And then they could tell me like, hey, it's really good, Amber. You should definitely stay up and watch it. But then they watched Lioness instead. And then they were like, this is great. And then I guess towards the end, they were like, it was really great. And then it was not so great. So I don't know how that ended.
It's the best thing. Slow Horses. And I jumped on it. I think it was at the end of series 2. And my son said, Dad, I don't know why you're not watching this series. I
mean, it does sound like a documentary of a French abattoir, but
no.
Other than that, it's like
it is very, very good. It's funny, dark humor. Again, perfectly pitched dark humor, and it's all the losers from MI5.
Right. Oh yeah, you have told us about this before. Yes.
And honestly, and the trailer for series 4 really amps it up, and they're all based on books, obviously books that have sold.
And it's Apple. Is it Apple? No. What's it playing on?
I think it is. Well, it's playing on my.
No, it couldn't be on Apple because my family was able to start it. Oh, unless they have episodes that you can just start.
Yeah, I just checked. It's on Apple.
It is Apple. Yeah. Right. Okay. Or some other way of finding it.
Other format.
Yeah, just other methods.
Yeah.
Who's Jack Burton?
Do you know who Jack Burton is?
Jack Burton? What from? What's the name of the movie?
Big Trouble.
That's it. Big Trouble, Little China.
Oh.
Yes, Jack Burton.
There it is.
Is that a street?
I don't know what it is. It's literally just a sign on the side of the railway, or it says Jack Burton.
Good old Jack Burton.
Yeah, Jack Burton has been here, I guess.
You need to find out why.
I do. I will find out. Like, look at it. It's just a lone ass sign. Like, there's nothing around.
Now, you see those 2 little houses in the background? That is the village of Jack Burton.
Those 2 storage containers. Those they look like those are train car containers or whatever. What are those called? I don't know.
Wonder what's
weird.
Containers. Try and open them, Amber. Go on.
I want to know. Okay. Let's see.
No, don't, because you'll get a.
Oh, it's locked. Wait, is it? It's not locked. Oh yeah, it's locked. It's locked. I can't open it.
You might get shot, so don't.
Yeah, not opening it, and then there's like this pile of dead bodies, and it's like, ooh, this is like the start of a Friday the 13th episode 22.
How about that lonesome path in there? Oh, where that goes.
No.
I'm going.
Go on.
Anyway.
Why are you walking down lonesome paths?
Honestly, I was so cold. I need to move so I stay warm. Very cold right now.
Oh, really? But it doesn't look too bad. I mean, you're talking to 3 Brits. Well, 2 Brits and an alien.
I'm used to, I mean, I went from 107 degrees Fahrenheit, which I don't know what that is in Celsius, but it's pretty damn hot,
it's hot,
to raining and freezing. So
yeah.
I'm not used to that. My blood has not coagulated enough to be like, to keep me warm here.
See, as I said on the chat, that's a typical week in the UK.
Yeah.
We go from 107 down to, that's a day. That's one day to the next.
That's just the transition from Tuesday to Wednesday. But when you first said, Amber, about what you was doing and you had to obviously go up north, it was like I couldn't think of two more extremes unless you lived in the Sahara. Wow,
yeah,
from that to that, it's like your body must be going.
and there's a remote possibility I might be wintering here, where you only get 4 hours of sunlight in my sister's town. Like,
no,
I don't want to do it. I don't think I can. You have to like you have to get a special light that you turn on every night, and it gives you UV rays. Otherwise, you get like a serious depression. Yeah, they call them happy lights or whatever.
Unless you really, 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 really need to be there, like your job, like someone's life depends on you being there. Why would you need to be that extreme, that far north? No, there's no need for it.
A lot of people here, though, make a ton of money. Like, these jobs during the summer pay so much you can live off of it all year. So I think that's a huge appeal, that, okay, I work for 4 months and then I have 8 months off.
What, through the winter?
In the winter, nobody works because this place is.
What I mean. So that's what, like, no one should be there in winter. There's nothing like.
So how does the town keep running if no one works? Like, surely shops are open for like food.
No, they're not open. No. They all shut down.
Wow.
Yeah, I bet they
like don't. There's some towns that get completely snowed in, and they're just like, well, we're here, and then they have things flown in on bush planes.
Salmon.
Wow.
Actually, yeah. So everybody here has if you're a resident, you have a certain number of, I don't know, pounds of salmon or something that you're allowed to go and collect for yourself, and they call it dip netting. You go out into the river with a net that you dip, and you just sling them out like one after another. There's so many. It's like a river of fish, and you're just like scooping them and like you take them home, and there's special like processing plants where you can dump them in, and it processes all of them, debones them and vacuum packages them. You throw them in the freezer, and you're like, all right, I've got enough meat for one of these salmon steaks every other day for the next year. I'm good.
Wow.
Again, like literally, why?
Why? Honestly, like
eating fish.
For me, I could see doing this place in the summer and then Arizona in the winter, which actually is very common here. There are more Arizonans in Alaska, I believe, than any other state. Like other than Arizona.
It's an interesting statistic, to be fair.
It's weird, but it's like they get too much of the heat and they're like, what's the exact opposite of this place? Where could I go? Oh, Alaska. They come up to Alaska. But it's summers in Alaska, winters in Arizona.
That's a bit like the cheapest time to go on holiday in Dubai is July, August, September, when it's literally melting.
Yeah, everybody's melting.
Anyone in Dubai, anyone who needs to live there, they all go away. But that means the whole place is empty and you can get a cheap holiday.
No, everything, it gets cheap here in the winter too. So yeah, I get that. I mean, who was it? I was watching some travel person and he was saying my favorite thing to do. He says, I know it sounds a bit morbid. He's like, I like to travel to countries right after some disaster that has happened there because the tourism disappears and everything there is very cheap and it's easy to go and travel. It's like, so if I find out a place had like a huge earthquake or they just had a war there, but now the war is gone, that's where I'm going. And he says, it's like the cheapest way to travel. I was like, okay. I mean, it makes sense. It makes perfect sense. But it is kind of like, oh, this place is suffering. Fantastic. I can go take my holiday there.
Where'd you want to go next? I'll aim my ray gun.
He's either in Ukraine or the Gaza at the moment.
Oh my gosh.
Yay.
I could do the Ukraine. I've got relatives in Kiev. So I don't know how they're doing. I think they're okay. I actually want to go to Russia more. I mean, I know.
You can't say that.
It doesn't matter. The average person doesn't give a shit about what the conflict is. All they care about are, people are getting hurt.
No,
that's not cool.
Algorithm. I don't care about the war, but the algorithm's going to pick up what you just
said.
Okay.
Oh, down with Russia then, yes.
Now YouTube's going to say you are supporting the Russian race. Oh.
Hey, they can't cancel me. I'm Ukrainian.
You can't cancel me.
You can't cancel me. Is Disney coming out with anything soon? Because I know that we were talking about how they've like canceled a bunch of stuff, and somebody said something about they're like, I remember I hear this rather frequently that the new CEO has come in and said, we're cutting everything and we're only going to do this thing and this thing and this thing, and then about 2 months later you find out they didn't do all this cutting, but they're doubling down on what they were doing before, just with fewer projects now. And
well, they've delayed Snow White again. I know that much.
Have you seen
I heard that
Snow White trailer?
Oh, no, but they've delayed it again. They've delayed it again. There's reshoots now that are going to be. They're fighting to get the reshoots done before December this year.
Oh my gosh!
So they don't have to delay for a fourth or fifth time or whatever. And there's a push. There's a push apparently. Again, this is rumor. I don't know how true it is. There's a push from the board to just drop it on Disney Plus and not do the release. Save the money of all the marketing bollocks and just drop it on Disney Plus and don't release it.
A bit like what they've done with the Peter Pan thing.
Yeah,
they've done that.
There was a live action.
Yeah, and they just dumped that and forgot about it. But
honestly, I forgot about it.
There's a Lion King. What is it?
Mufasa.
The Mufasa story. Yeah.
That looks all right.
So it's a prequel.
I hope what they're going to do is they're going to take
definitely a sequel.
They're going to take another Shakespearean play and make it his story. Like that would be the way to do it, because
cool.
The Lion King was Hamlet, right? So they should take some other story, some other Shakespearean story, and give that to Mufasa and do a version of that. I think that'd be a great idea. That's one of those adaptation things. Like 10 Things I Hate About You was an adaptation of Taming of the Shrew. There's a whole bunch of other ones that I could go into, but you can tell the same story and it'll still be enjoyable if you just do something creative with it. And The Lion King was just a simple kid's story, but
would best suit Mufasa.
Well, I have no idea what his history is, so literally all you have to do is have a character that ends up as the king. So find any Shakespeare story where somebody ends up, it's a prince, or they end up as the king or something. It doesn't even have to be a king, but just like a war for houses of some kind. There's so many Shakespearean stories that are about royalty.
Yeah, Richard III.
And this story is about Mufasa, and that's the dad of Simba.
Of Simba.
Yeah, so it is a prequel.
Yeah, it is. I was just wondering up. If the sequel would be funny, because it'd just be a pair of like lion bones just laying there for the whole thing.
I forgot what I was going to say about that Lion King then.
Does it look good? The animation looks good.
Yeah.
I just don't think it worked the first time around. I don't know how they're going to fix that.
I thought it did. I thought it did look good. They had Snow White trailer that I thought there's something that's not quite, it's just it's just that, like,
isn't that 5 test screenings now they've failed?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
You know what? I've checked out of all that. I've checked out of the whole lot. I don't care. But I thought I will check out the trailer. I will check out all the trailers as they come out. And I don't know, there's just no magic there.
No.
There was
it's falling apart. It is literally falling apart.
Yeah, there's certain.
And they even finished it.
It's where you think, oh, come on, they make the magic happen, and including that Mufasa trailer. And I thought, yes. And I even text my daughter, because obviously I've taken Amber to see, not you, Amber, my daughter Amber, to see the original Lion King onwards. like my kids, they've grown up with that era of Disney. And when I saw the trailer, I just thought, oh, do you know what? Come on, we'll have a date night, me and you. Do you fancy that? And she went, yeah, yeah. She watched the trailer and she went, yeah. So there's enough there. But the Snow White, I don't know what it is that it doesn't seem to work. It just doesn't. I don't
Do you
know.
think it could be the fact? I know this is like a superficial thing, but I think that it does make a difference, and that is that they've CGI'd the dwarfs now.
Yeah.
Right? They're totally CGI.
That's
it
part
takes
of it, yeah.
something out of it that's like, we're going to deal like what it's going to be Snow White in front of a green screen for every scene, basically, because if you watch the original Disney Snow White, it's more about the dwarfs than it is about her, honestly.
Yeah.
They are going to be so you're going to be watching basically an animated movie, like, I guess, Sonic the Hedgehog, I suppose. So where your main characters are CGI. So maybe you'll really like it, Hog.
No, I don't. Well, Gal Gadot's in it as the evil queen, so yes, I might be tempted.
Well, because she's having grief with it now, isn't she? Gal Gadot. They're pulling her back for these reshoots, and she's disagreeing, and she's basically saying, "No, if you make me do the reshoots, I will not do any of the
irony,
the marketing stuff."
The irony. And listen, I am biased because I love a Gal Gadot, right? But the irony is that, mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest?
Who's the fairest?
You've got Gal Gadot.
And it's not her.
Looking in the mirror, and then you've got what's her face that's playing white. And I'm thinking, actually, the evil queen is gorgeous chops, and you look like a little man boy, like here.
Yes, it's not the best casting, is it?
Yeah,
definitely not.
Go and toss off the dwarfs.
Come on, makeup can do a lot for a girl. Like, honestly, I think she's a pretty looking girl, but yeah, not compared to Gal Gadot is like a sex symbol, though. It's a different kind of beauty, and then it is a little weird to compare the two when we've been for so long establishing that sexy is the peak of beauty,
Yeah. Well, it's a bit like what was the one that Chris Hemsworth and Charlize Theron
the Huntsman?
The Hunter and the Huntress, whatever that's called, blah blah.
Yeah.
But
I didn't see that, but I know what it was.
Like, oh, Charlize, you're thinking, oh yeah, whatever you want, whatever you want to do to me, babe, just do it, just do it. But Hemsworth was, I don't know, those films perfectly, and there was two of them, wasn't there? But they perfectly distilled what I think Disney are missing with the Snow White scenario. They're just missing it. They just don't tackle the subject matter head on. This is what we want. We want the fairy tale. We want the fable. We want the hero. We want the wicked witch. We want this. We want that. Why can't you just give the audience what they want?
Because they think they know better.
They know better. Yeah, I heard a good analogy actually the other day. Someone was liking it to you going into a restaurant, and instead of you ordering food, they're just going to give you what they order for you. Yeah. It's just like, no, you're not going to eat that. You're eating this. It's just like that restaurant will go bust. So.
And it's
but then it doesn't, and that's the mystery. How has the restaurant not gone belly up already? How's that happen? How has that happened? I don't.
They are a massive corporation with decades
and decades of experience of misappropriated funds. Yeah,
and imagine if it wasn't Disney, and all this stuff was coming from another studio like Lionsgate, they'd be bust by it by now.
Oh,
it's because it's Disney and they are so big.
Yeah,
that is the only reason I can think of.
You know what, they said the same thing about the Titanic though, and it eventually went down.
Yeah, it was. Yep. I mean, there's no way. Disney are still, like it or not, the four of us, whether you like it or not, they are still the biggest entertainment company.
Well, yeah. They are.
I'm not including China in this because I don't know what goes on in China, but because there are films that will premiere there that will outdo anything in the Western world that we premiere. There'll be a war film in China that just blasts everything away, but we don't get to hear about it.
Well, no, but those are films that are popular to them, but not us. But
yeah,
I think the thing is it's a style of storytelling that doesn't resonate with American audiences, that it will explode there because of their experience of life and history and whatnot, and it resonates with the people. But here it won't at all. However, a lot of the stories that Hollywood is producing, and we're producing so much more, I think that they tend to have that glamour, and that's kind of a thing that everybody will go and see. Like everybody went and saw Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon because it had some glamour to it. There was something special about it, even though it was a distinctly Chinese story, distinctly Chinese, all the actors, you know, it was all in Chinese, like, but we all saw it because it did something really spectacular with the visual effects. Now, South Korea is giving the US a run for its money. And we've seen that in the last few years with, you know, Squid Games and what was the one, Parasite, that movie. Like people are starting to take note of Korean films simply because of their quality in production. And I don't think China's at that point yet. They released a competitor for Maverick, and it is apparently like so bad that the audiences in China, after seeing Maverick, because a lot of people in China saw Maverick, then they saw this knockoff of Maverick that the Chinese government basically put out, and they were cracking up. Like people were laughing at it. And this was like, this is, you know, forget the U.S. military, like this is our movie, the pride of the People's Republic of China or whatever. And it ends up, all the people were laughing at it. It was very sad. But eventually they'll get to the point that their special effects and their spectacle is just as good as the US. And then they'll eventually take off too. We'll see those things as well. But we're still the best, I think.
But Amber, did you not ever, because this was a few hogCASTs back when we spoke about a TV show called Monkey.
Yeah, I know. Oops, I went and I watched. Sorry,
did you ever check it out? Monkey Magic.
Yes, I did. I went and I looked I didn't watch whole episodes, but I was like cracking up so hard. I was like, oh my gosh, it reminded me a lot of like Power Rangers.
Yes, yeah. It was that same.
Yeah. It's like Power Rangers. That's so hilarious. Oh my gosh.
Pixie.
That's it.
I didn't watch enough of it to be able to quote it for sure, but I had a moment where I was like, oh, this is the hogCAST all when they were kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, Pigsy, hogCAST, yeah. School, watch Monkey. That would have been on a certain day, and then there'd be other programs on other days. But yeah, we didn't know. We just didn't know. We was eating our Angel Delight. Before we had fish fingers and chips, and then night nights. So, and we wonder why we've ended up like this, guys.
I had fish fingers this evening.
Did you?
Yeah.
But that might be. Is that not a delicacy on the space station, Liz?
Attack of Dinosaurs more so.
Yeah. So yeah, you know, hunting. Do you hunt our fish in our seas, or do you just go to Morrison's?
Just want to do a quick translation for Amber as well. I don't know if you have them in. We call them fish fingers. They're little pieces of cod in sticks, and they're called fish fingers.
Sticks.
They're not actually funny fish that actually have fingers, and you know, some weird fish from the UK.
I guessed it was like chicken fingers. So
yeah, there we
that's
go.
What we got chicken fingers.
Hold on, are you telling me that fish haven't got fingers?
Not anymore.
Oh wow!
We got rid of that.
What about that fish in that?
That's a few million years ago. A few million years ago, they probably did have fingers, but evolution kicked in, and
that's where I thought they come from. I thought
fish fingers.
Fish must have fingers. I can't see them, but they must have fingers.
You'll be proud, Hog. Guess what I had it with?
Chips.
No, I had it in a roll.
Oh, what?
Oh,
with Marmite.
With Marmite.
Oh,
Yes.
Yeah, you'd be proud.
Liz, see, I've told you aliens. I've told you aliens out to rock and roll. Yeah. And I bet you munched. Oh, when you crunch. Oh, yes.
It was glorious. It was glorious.
I have heard about your Marmite habit.
When you just slightly burn the fish finger, like, or not burn it, but just crunch that.
Yeah, nice and crispy.
Yes.
Yeah, it's good. You got to try it. Don't knock it till you try it. I was very anti it.
No, I'm fine. Thank you.
No,
right.
don't say that. Don't do
I
that.
don't do Marmite.
No, Liz was exactly the same as you. He pulled that face, but
it's good. I've got to admit. It's good.
My father passed it on to me, the recipe. And now I passed it on to an alien race, and now we're passing it to you, Tayters.
I'm trying not to heave. I can't stand Marmite.
What's the matter with you?
Oh, no.
Yeah, Marmite is a bit Marmite, though, isn't it?
It is literally.
It's a marketing dream. It's a marketing dream, isn't it?
Do you have Marmite in America?
Not popular, but you can find it. I've
Okay.
I've eaten it. Well, okay, I ate it when I was in New Zealand, but I've never bought it here and eaten it because I've tried it. Thank you.
Yuck. Don't like that.
Yeah, it's not great in my opinion, but maybe I had bad Marmite. I don't know.
You had some.
There's no such thing as a good Marmite. It's all shit.
It's literally love it or hate it. Two like it, two hate it, don't they?
It's a bit like in Wayne's World where they go, there's some bad red rope licorice going around the party. I don't know where that comes from. That must signify the end of the.
We've probably gone off topic today, haven't we? It's good.
I'm gonna.
Yeah.
We've been touring Alaska. It's like,
yeah. On tour.
I still haven't seen a
I
bear.
know.
You still haven't seen
no bears yet. I saw a bear. Not today, but it's too freaking cold. I'm walking literally because I'm trying not to sit there and shiver.
Wow, so
very cold.
That doesn't even look very cold, Amber, to be fair.
That doesn't look cold.
To two Englishmen and an alien, I don't think you're looking very cold. I mean, cold is like really, but that just looks all right.
I'm not prepared for this. I'm
look at you.
I should have brought my fleece leggings and I could wear them under my pants, but I didn't. I'm wearing cheap ass denim that I got on Amazon, and I'm having to borrow sweaters. Like I was styled by Goodwill today, so this is the best I can do.
Save it for your OnlyFans audience. What you're wearing? Come on, save it for them. Save it for them. But you don't. All you do is look like you've got a jacket on. Like we would just. If I went out tomorrow morning for my little walk, I would wear jeans and that. And you're going, oh my God, it's so cold.
I have my hand that's been holding the thing is like yellow. Like, look, it's frozen hand. And I had to switch them off so that one of them can thaw while the other one holds the selfie stick thing. I'm glad I have this thing because there's no way I would want to sit and film.
You're showing yourself up, Amber, as a soft Arizonian desert dwelling June person. You know, you've gone from Arrakis to
Hoff.
Yes.
Wait, what was it? Halloween, I guess, the Hoff.
I'll have to make a note of this. Amber goes from Arrakis to Hoff.
There you go. No, I'll take Arrakis any day over this. I mean, I love beauty. You can't match this, but it's so cold. You're right. I don't know why. I don't know how people can stand being this cold all the time. I like not having to wear layers and layers and layers of clothes 24 hours a day.
Yeah. No, but Amber, what I'm saying is that just literally doesn't look very cold. Like, if you was in Switzerland on a mountaintop with the snow coming down, I'd think, oh yeah, look. But you've got a jacket on.
But I should have more jacket on than I do.
You're wearing a jacket and a pair of jeans. No, you're not selling it, babe. Sorry.
Well, I bought some stuff that will make it possible for me to film when it rains, because it rains a lot here and I don't want to stop filming. And so that's on the way. Hopefully some of it will be here by this weekend. So I will be very cold at some point filming in the rain. And
are you going to live stream? Are you going to live stream through the 30 days of night?
No.
Will it get creepy?
You know what I could do, like a vlog where people get to keep tabs on like what stage am I at in the slow descent into insanity. Like today I have knitted 4 tablecloths and I made a snake warmer, like a long tube. I don't know. I'll be one of those weird knitting people, I have a feeling.
Keep carving them sticks into steaks, babe.
A whittler?
Yeah,
I'm whittling.
Just keep whittling that wood down into steaks through the heart of anyone through your door.
I'll prepare for the apocalypse.
Anyway.
Oh my goodness. Well, okay, so
no, it's going to be easy for you to do a freeze frame, isn't it? Because your face is going to be frozen.
I'm already freezing. Oh no, but it'll be like this. It'll be like I'm shivering.
Yeah, you won't be able to freeze frame because your face.
Do we want next week to do since like really there's not much to talk about? Do we want to do? Well, there may be more Rings of Power, but I have a feeling most of us are not gonna. I mean, I'm gonna watch the whole thing because I'm doing it on my channel. But what if we did one of those specials again where we talk about, what you should be watching if you don't want to watch the trash that's on TV now?
Yeah.
Remember, like we did the Star. Like, what's your favorite from the, old sci-fi show? Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, 90s sci-fi was good.
I mean, there is going to be Alien Romulus.
Oh.
That's out. I'm going to see that Monday or Tuesday.
Okay.
Yeah, but in the meanwhile, all right, we'll bounce. Let's bounce some ideas around.
Yeah.
What about ghost stories or paranormal?
Yeah.
Like the X-Files and stuff?
Oh, I thought you meant like disabled people on that. I thought that's very diverse. That ticks a box with the YouTube algorithm. Nice.
I can only think of the Stephen Hawking movie in that vein. So it's.
I'm so tempted to start doing impressions right now, but I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna do that. That would be really, really immature, wouldn't it?
Go on.
No,
that would be immature.
Tayters, don't you do that? We don't go there. Oh, come on in. Right. Amber's going to start the freeze frame.
Yes.
Freezing. She's freezing. Come on. That's enough now. No, you moved, Amber.
It was my hair. I was like,